Hi friends, this is the continuation topic of diode application. So already we discussed about diode characteristics and diode applications, clippers, clampers and rectifiers. So these all topics we covered in last previous my videos. So you can see the videos. The next topic, breakdown mechanism in a diode. So I am B. Ramesh from St. Peter's Engineering College, working as assistant professor. Today my topic, breakdown mechanism in a diode. Okay, so generally there are two types of breakdown occurs in a diode. One is avalanced breakdown and next one is Zener breakdown. Avalanced breakdown generally occurs in lightly doped diode, and Zener breakdown occurs in Zener diode, so which is a heavily doped diode. So these two breakdowns occur in reverse bias only. Okay, when reverse voltage increases behind certain value, large diode current flows. This is called breakdown of diode, and corresponding voltage is called reverse breakdown voltage of diode. There are two distinct mechanisms due to which the breakdown may occur in the diode. So those are avalanced breakdown and Zener breakdown. Okay, so when this breakdown occur, your diode acting as a normal conductor, normal wire, that's why you can observe the large amount of current. Okay, so we cannot use after this breakdown diode. Okay, so avalanced breakdown generally occurs at high voltage, and Zener breakdown occurs at less than 5 volts or less than 7 voltage. Okay, so avalanced breakdown, what is the avalanced breakdown means? See, the avalanced breakdown occurs in a lightly doped diode. The multiplication factor due to avalanche effect is given by m is equal to 1 by 1 minus v by vbd whole power of n, where m is carrier multiplication factor, n type of material. For suppose the diode manufactured with the silicon material, the suppose doping values will be there. So that is for avalanche breakdown, n is equal to 4. For silicon, in silicon material, for suppose the material is n type material, so we have to take the n is equal to 4, or else if it is p type, so we have to take n is equal to 2, where v is applied reverse voltage and vbd is reverse breakdown voltage. Okay, v is bias voltage and this one vbd is reverse breakdown voltage. Okay, so this is the avalanced breakdown. See, in avalanced breakdown, suppose when you apply the reverse voltage, what happen means, so inside in diode there are avalanced break, this covalent bonds will be there. So when you apply the high voltage, so at a certain value, certain point, certain voltage, when temperature increases, due to temperature, this covalent bond will be breakdown. So when suppose the covalent bonds breakdown means, that will generate the pair of charge carriers. That means that will release the hole and electrons. Okay, so that hole and electrons collide with another covalent bond. So like that, another covalent bond also suppose breakdown, that will release the pair of again charge carriers. Previous first case, that will release the two charge carriers. Now the two charge carriers collide with another covalent bond. Okay, so covalent bonds will be breakdown, and that will generate the again pair of charge carriers. Like that, after certain value, by increasing the high voltage and across the junction and inside the material, temperature will be increased. So due to the temperature, all covalent bonds will be breakdown in a diode, same p region and n region. So your material, your diode behaves like a normal conductor, so that is called avalanche breakdown. Okay, so avalanche breakdown formula, M is equal to 1 by 1 minus applied voltage and by breakdown voltage whole power of n. So this is the mechanism in avalanche breakdown. So in case of, we can say, in avalanche breakdown, the charge carriers collide with in terms of multiplication level. In terms of multiplication level, one charge carriers collide with another covalent bond, the same release the pair of charge carriers that will collide with another covalent bond. So that like that all covalent bonds break down in avalanche breakdown. So when you see the Zener breakdown, so Zener breakdown generally occurs in Zener diode, and the Zener breakdown occurs suppose in a heavily doped diode also. Heavily doped diode means you can see Zener diode and tunnel diodes. Okay, so for heavily doped diode, the depletion region width is small because the P place, heavily doped means P place we can say. So generally in a lightly doped diode is suppose made with only P. Okay, so P plus is representing heavily doping material. P plus is representing heavily doping material. Okay, so suppose the diode made with suppose heavily high doping, so we can say P plus N plus. Okay, so for a heavily doped diode, the depletion region width is small. Okay, so under reverse bias condition, the electric field across the depletion layer is very intense. Okay, so breaking of covalent bond due to intense electric field across the narrow depletion region and generate large number of electrons is called Zener effect. This generated electrons constitute a very large current, and the mechanism is called Zener breakdown. The diodes having reverse breakdown voltage less than 5 shows the Zener mechanism of breakdown. So generally we can say, for suppose so due to electric field, so in case of avalanche breakdown, the charge carriers collide with the covalent bonds in terms of multiplication level. So when you see the Zener diode, the breakdown occurs in Zener diode. So after certain voltage, the charge carriers cannot suppose the process cannot process in terms of multiplication level directly. That covalent bonds directly break down in Zener diode after certain voltage. So this phenomena, this mechanism is called Zener breakdown. Okay, so what is the difference between a Zener breakdown and avalanche breakdown means? So in Zener breakdown occurs in a heavily doped diode, and avalanche breakdown occurs in a lightly doped diode. That is the first difference. And second one, avalanche breakdown occurs above 5 volts and Zener breakdown occurs below 5 volts we can say. Okay, so next difference is avalanche breakdown in terms of multiplication level. The charge carriers collide with the covalent bond. So when you see the in a Zener diode breakdown mechanism, directly after certain voltage directly rupture the all the suppose the covalent bond, all the covalent bonds break down after certain voltage. So that is the difference between Zener diode and Zener breakdown and avalanche breakdown in diode. Okay, so the next topic is Zener diode. Okay, next topic is Zener diode. So Zener diode is a heavily doped diode. So why we are going for Zener diode, and what is the advantage of Zener diode, and what are the disadvantage in Zener diode? So what is the application of Zener diode? These are all topics I am going to cover in this video. Okay, so Zener diode. Zener is a scientist. He invented this diode. So on his name. So we suppose we are calling this is a GINA diode. Okay, so GINA diode Z, the shape you can observe, you can see the symbol of GINA diode. So Z, so like this we can represent the symbol of GINA diode. Okay, so so this diode can suppose conduct in forward and reverse bias. So this diode is heavily doped diode and is designed with adequate power dissipation capability to operate in reverse breakdown region. Okay, that means this diode specially meant for the reverse conduction purpose. Okay, when you see the lightly doped diode, there is no conduction in reverse bias. So in GINA diode, it can conduct both forward bias and reverse bias. So in forward bias, the same characteristics as a lightly doped diode, PN junction diode, you can say, but the different in reverse bias characteristics in GINA diode. Okay, whereas when you compare to the lightly doped diode, it's not conducting in reverse bias. This diode conduct in reverse bias after certain voltage. The operation of the GINA diode is same as that of GINA ordinary PN diode under forward bias condition. In reverse bias condition, the diode carries reverse saturation current till the reverse voltage applied it less than the reverse breakdown voltage. Okay, when the reverse voltage exceeds the reverse breakdown voltage, the current through it changes drastically, but the voltage across it remain almost constant. Such a breakdown region is normal operating region for a GINA diode. The symbol GINA diode is Z. Okay, so that means, so after certain voltage, the diode maintains the constant voltage but current flows. Okay, so this is the GINA diode characteristics. So this diode heavily doped diode. So lightly doped diode, so doping level is 1:10 power of 9. So when you see the GINA diode, the doping process is 1:10 power of 6. So and next diode is a tunnel diode. Tunnel diode is very heavily doped diode compared to the GINA diode. Okay, the process of tunnel diode doping is the ratio 1:10 power of 3. 1:10 power of 3. So this is the characteristics. So when you see the characteristics of GINA diode forward bias, so after cutting voltage, the diode conducting, and in reverse bias after some high voltage, that means 4.7 or 4.62, that is the rating of this generally the diode. After that voltage, the current start flowing in reverse bias GINA diode. So so when it reaches the certain value, certain voltage, that voltage is called breakdown voltage. So the breakdown voltage that will maintain the constant voltage, and the current is directly proportional to applied voltage. Okay, so after that breakdown voltage or GINA voltage, so current increases but voltage is constant. So that's why we are using this GINA diode as voltage regulator. So from this characteristics, we can calculate the reverse GINA reverse forward voltage, forward resistance, and reverse resistance. The dynamic resistance or static resistance we can calculate. The dynamic resistance of a GINA diode is defined as the reciprocal of the slope of the reverse characteristics in GINA region. So RZ is equal to the difference between two voltage to the difference between two current. So that is nothing but 1 by slope of reverse characteristics in GINA diode. The dynamic resistance is very small, it in order of tens ohm. So you can observe the Zener diode equivalent circuit, practical equivalent circuit, and ideal equivalent circuit. Okay, so this generally after certain voltage the current start flowing in diode. So we are representing here our RZ resistance and the junction voltage VZ. Okay, so ideal diode circuit diagram. So this is about this diode characteristics. Next, application of Zener diode. Various application of Zener diode are as a voltage regulating element in voltage regulators. So that means we can use this Zener diode as a voltage regulator or stabilizer. Okay, so that will maintain the constant current, constant voltage. That will maintain the constant voltage. So that's why we are calling a voltage regulator is a suppose this one Zener diode acting as a voltage regulator. Okay, so we can use Zener diode as a regulator to maintain the constant voltage in various protecting circuit. So we can use, because input voltage is high, but we required a certain voltage only. So that's why we can, if you connect this Zener diode, so that will generate the required voltage only. Okay, in Zener a limiter clipper circuit which are used to clip of part of unwanted portion of the voltage waveform. Okay, so we can use Zener diode as a clipper, clamper, and limiters, you can say. Okay, so this is about Zener diode. The next diode is tunnel diode. Tunnel diode means something suppose without tunneling. Tunneling means it's that means suppose tunnel diode the without applying voltage also there is a small leakage current, small current flows in tunneling diode. That's why we are calling it a tunneling diode. So generally the tunnel diode is another name is Isaki diode. Okay, so this diode invented in the year 1958 by Leo Isaki. So this diode is called tunnel diode or Isaki diode. If the concentration of impurity atom is greatly increased, say 1:10⁻3, here 1 is the suppose a doping element and 10⁻3 is semiconductors. So when you see the lightly doped diode, the 1:10⁹. Okay, 10⁹ semiconductor, we are adding 1, suppose we are doing the process is 1. So for Zener diode the doping process is 1:10⁶. For a tunneling diode the doping process is 1:10⁻3. Okay, so that's why this diode is a heavily doped diode, more heavily doped diode. Okay, so the potential barrier is VB. Potential barrier VB is related with the width of the depletion region with the following equation. So VB is equal to charge into acceptor ions and 2 into epsilon width square. Okay, so the width is related to the depletion region. Okay, so from the above equation the width of barrier varies inversely as a square root of impurity concentration. Okay, so if you add more number of impurities the width decreases. Okay, the adding impurities more width becomes so less. As the depletion width decreases, there is a large probability that an electrons will penetrate through the barrier. this quantum mechanism behaves is referred to as tunneling, and hence this high impurity density in PN junction device are called tunnel diodes. Okay, so that means lightly doped diode. For suppose when you suppose doping when you're suppose adding impurities less, when you're adding impurities less, that is called that is nothing but the width is high. Okay, when high impurity means when your doping level is high, so your width become very very low, very very narrow. So that is that device, narrow width device, is called tunnel diode. Okay, so you can observe here, you can see the energy band structure of a heavily doped PN junction diode under open circuit condition, under open circuit condition. Okay, so this is the generally PN junction diode energy band diagram. See, you can observe here PN junction diode energy band. So this P side conduction band and valency band, the Fermi level is below the valency band, you can observe in a P region, and the N region, the conduction band, above the conduction band Fermi level is there. That means the Fermi level already having some free charge carriers, and P side the Fermi level having some charge carriers. So due to very narrow width, some of the charge carriers moving from the P region to N region to P region, P region to N region. Due to that, without applying voltage also will get some current. Okay, that phenomena is called tunneling effect. That phenomena is called quantum mechanism. Due to quantum mechanism, the charge carriers moving from P region to N region, that constitute some current. Okay, that current is called suppose tunneling current, you can say. Okay, so this is the energy band diagram of tunnel diode. So always we can, you know, the suppose we know the in P side the Fermi level below the valency band, and generally in N side the Fermi level above the suppose conduction band. Okay, so after this volts and ampere characteristics. So some of the charge carriers due to this phenomena, quantum phenomena, charge carriers moves from the N side to P side and P side to N side, that constitutes some current. And after applying voltage, what happened means the in inside at inside what happened means inside suppose under applied reverse bias voltage, so what happened means under applied bias voltage, the Fermi level increases in N side, and Fermi level decreases in P side. So that what happened means the charge carriers cannot move the P side to N side and N side to P side, because in energy gap there is no charge carriers, because energy gap there is no charge carriers, so that the charge carriers cannot so tunneling effect cannot occur here, because open circuit is open here. The material having the suppose energy band gap, easy is nothing but energy band gap. So in the energy band gap there is no free charge carriers, so electron cannot move in suppose P region. So like that, so after applying certain voltage to reach the suppose this one, so you can observe here there are different types of A, B, C, D energy band diagram under forward bias condition. So see here, in previous case in previous case the tunneling is occur. So when you are applying forward bias, your Fermi level is increases in P side and in N side Fermi level is increases, in P side Fermi level is decreases. So there is no suppose tunneling occur in suppose under applying forward bias. Okay, so under applying a forward bias there is no tunneling occur because the Fermi level increases in N side and decreases in P side. Okay, so that point is called suppose a peak point. So you will get the current, some current maximum current, that current is called a peak time, peak current. So after certain voltage, when it reaches the maximum barrier voltage, okay, means when you are suppose in P region your Fermi level close to suppose barrier, and similarly in N region, so it was supposed to reach the, that figure shows here, that figure shows the B figure. So slowly by applying forward bias voltage your Fermi level increases. So Fermi level increases in N region and decreases in P region. So the charge carriers cannot move from the N region to P region. Okay, so that is you can observe in C and D figure, so that there is no current flow. So suddenly your current come down, and after certain voltage in D figure, after certain voltage what happen means your current increases, current the charge carriers slowly move from the N region to P region and P region to N region, that attains the normal PN junction diode characteristics. Okay, you can observe here. So the graph between the forward voltage and forward current, without applying voltage also, some of the charge carriers moving from the due to tunneling effect or quantum mechanism, some current flowing because of very narrow width and Fermi level in P region close to suppose N region Fermi level. So that constitutes some current, that current is peak current. So that will increase the flow, the small current, penetrate the charge carriers from N region to P region through the junction, through the potential barrier or junction you can say. So that current you can observe a IV, so increases current slowly, and when it reaches, when you apply the forward bias also current some increases. So when it reaches the peak point there is no charge carriers move from the suppose penetrate N region to P region because the Fermi level increases. So in energy gap there is no charge carriers, so no charge carriers means no current. So suddenly your current come down. When it attaches again we are applying the voltage. So again we are applying the voltage that attains the PN junction characteristics. So can you observe here, after a peak voltage some current some voltage we are giving forward voltage, your current come down and that attains the VV voltage, value voltage. Again it goes through the current high current that is proportional to diode current and applied voltage. Okay, so current increases and decreases. So that region is called a negative resistant region. That region is called a negative resistant region. So see here, finally it's a simple tunnel diode is heavily doped diode. The process 1:10⁻³ So with heavily doped, due to heavily doped diode, some charge carriers tunneling penetrate through the junction width. Okay, so that current is called tunnel current, you can say. Okay, and when it reaches the peak point, the charge carriers cannot move from the one region to another region, so your current is decreases. So after certain voltage, value voltage, so again current starts flowing in tunnel diode. Okay, so another name of this diode is Esaki diode. Another name of this diode is called Esaki diode. Esaki, he is a scientist and he invented this device in the year 1958. For a 1973 he got the Nobel Prize. He got the Nobel Prize for this invention. And you can see the equivalent circuit diagram of this tunnel diode. So tunnel diode symbol and a small signal model are, see, this is the suppose symbol of this diode, and we can represent this diode with this circuit at a small signal voltage. Okay, so application of tunnel diode, it is used as a very high speed switch, since tunneling takes place at the speed of light. It is used as a high frequency oscillator. Okay, inductor capacitor means that will produce the some frequency, so you can use this device as a frequency oscillator. And the switching time is very fast compared to the other diodes. Compared to the other diode, the switching time is very fast. Okay, the next device is photodiode. Okay, so photodiode means the diode is a device that operates in reverse bias. In reverse bias only. The photodiode has small transparent window that allows light to strike on surface of the PN junction, keeping the remaining side unilluminated. The symbol of photodiode is, see, the diode means made with a P and N type material. Okay, so combining it form the junction. So you can see the figure. So this diode operates normally in reverse bias only. So when you apply the light on this diode junction point, so due to that intensity of light, so in photodiode there is suppose covalent bonds will be breakdown. So the junction covalent bonds breakdowning means what happen means that will generate the light. Okay, breaking bond is called suppose light. Okay, so this diode operates in a reverse bias only. So for this voltage current flows in a reverse side. So that so when you are applying the torchlight on the photodiode, that will release the pair of charge carriers. Charge carriers releasing means current flowing. Okay, so this is the diode characteristics in reverse bias. So photodiode it's a temperature dark current is temperature dependent. So when you apply the suppose current on the suppose light on the this diode, so across the junction, so that will release the pair of charge carriers, that means in form of light. Okay, so photodiode characteristics. Application of photodiode, advantages of photodiode: it can be used as variable resistance device, high sensitivity to the light, the speed of operation is very high. Disadvantage of photodiodes: the dark current is temperature dependent. Application of photodiode are commonly used in alarm systems and counting systems, used in demodulators, used in encoder, light detector, optical communication. So these are the this photodiode operation. The next one is next topic is suppose light emitting diode, LED, you can say LED. Next one is next device is a light emitting diode. So light emitting diode is a electronic semiconductor device, LED we can say in short form. The LED is an optical diode which emits light when forward bias by a phenomenon is called electroilluminations. See, when you apply the forward bias voltage to the LED, to diode, so that will suppose eliminate the suppose emits the light. The diode use the materials like gallium arsenide, phosphide or gallium phosphate. These are the mixture of element GaAsP, the symbol of LED. So the arrow mark is outside for LED device, and diode arrow mark inside. Okay, this is the major difference between this LED and photodiode. Working of LED, working principle of LED. When a LED is forward biased, the electrons and holes moves towards the junction and recombination takes place. As a result of recombination, the electrons lying in the semiconductor in the conduction band, the electrons lying in the conduction band of N region falling into the holes lying in valency band of P region. So after applying forward bias voltage, the charge carriers move from the one region to another region. So when they are moving P region to N region, the recombination of holes and electrons, so that eliminates the light. Okay, so the difference of energy between the conduction band and valence band is radiated in the form of light energy. The energy released in the form of light dependence and the energy corresponding to the forbidden gap. This determines the wavelength of the emitted light. The wavelength determines color of the light and also determines whether the light is visible or invisible. The color of emitted light depends on the type of material used. Suppose gallium arsenide, infrared radiation, IR you can say, gallium phosphate, red or green you can use. By using this material you can make the red LED and or green LED. Okay, so gallium arsenide phosphate, by using this combination, these two will generate the red or yellow. The brightness of emitted light is directly proportional to the forward bias current. Okay, how much voltage we are giving, so that much suppose LED will be glow. Okay, so the next one, LED characteristics. So current is directly proportional to applied voltage. Okay, emitting suppose this one light, charge carriers moving, so forward conduction band and valence band. When you apply the voltage, the charge carriers move from the valence band to conduction band. So when the recombination of holes and electrons, that emits the light, emitted energy in the form of light. Okay, process of electroluminescence. So like this, when you apply the voltage, the holes move from the valence band to conduction band. So when this two recombination, that will eliminate the light, it will generate the light. So next application of LED. LEDs are small in size. Okay, LEDs are fast operating devices. LEDs are light in weight. LEDs are available in various color. LEDs have long life. LEDs are cheap and ready available. LEDs are easy to interface with various other electronic circuits. Disadvantages of LEDs: need large power for the operation. So when you see the PN junction diode, normal PN junction diode, to operate that it required 0.7 volts, but when you operate the LED it required 1.2 volts. Okay, after that voltage only certain different LEDs they have some their cutting voltages. Okay, next the characteristics are affected by the temperature. So temperature increases, characteristics ultimately changes. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of LEDs. Next, application of LEDs. LEDs are used in all kind of visible displays, that is 7-segment displays and alphanumeric displays. Such displays are commonly used in multimeter, calculators, watches, etc. LEDs are used in optical devices such as optocouplers. They are also used in burglar alarm systems. Okay, so this is the applications of LEDs and LEDs. So in this session I am going to revise the what are the topics we covered. So first one is breakdown occurs in a diode. So two types of breakdown. One is avalanche breakdown and Zener breakdown. So avalanche breakdown occurs due to the charge carriers colliding in reverse bias with a covalent bond. So the pair of covalent bond release the pair of charge carriers. So that will release the holes and electrons. That holes and electrons collide with another covalent bond. So that will release again another suppose pair of charge carriers. So in terms of multiplication level, collision occur in suppose avalanche breakdown. In Zener breakdown, directly after certain voltage due to temperature, directly all the covalent bonds will be breakdown. Once breakdown is occur in diode, the diode behaves like a normal conductor. Okay. The next one is a Zener diode. Zener diode is heavily doped diode. Mainly the diode may suppose introduced in reverse bias. PN junction diode not conducting in reverse bias. This diode, Zener diode, conducts in reverse bias. So it is a heavily doped diode. So this diode, Zener diode, using for a voltage regulator or stabilizer, we can use this Zener diode. Next one is a tunnel diode. Tunnel diode is a very heavily doped diode. So we can use this tunnel diode without in switching circuit, because the switching action is very fast in a tunneling diode. So without applying voltage also, due to suppose narrow width, some electrons move from the N region to P region, that process is called quantum mechanism. Okay, so that is called suppose some current flows in tunnel diode without applying bias voltage also. After certain voltage, again your current come down. So that region is called reverse resistance region, and that attains the PN junction diode characteristics. Okay, we know the Fermi level in P region below the valency band, Fermi level in N region above the conduction band. Okay, so based on the Fermi level, the tunneling occurs in tunnel diode, and that will suppose generates the current. Okay, then next device is photodiode. When you suppose apply the light on the photodiode, so photodiode in reverse bias, when you apply the reverse voltage, your junction width is increases. Junction width increases means when light fall on the photodiode, that will release the photons in the form of suppose light. So like that we can operate the LED in reverse bias only. Photodiode in reverse bias only. So LED operates in forward bias. So the moving charge carriers one region to another region, the constituting current, holes and electrons. Constituting current is called in the form of light. Okay, so how much voltage we are giving, so based on that proportional to current increases. So this all the topic we seen in this session. Okay, if you have any doubts you can comment. I will clarify the doubts. Okay, thank you.